Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this airbrush hybrid tint with lamination. So first we're starting off with the client's bare brows. I am going in with my Brow Coat shampoo. This is specifically for brows. This is going to be helpful to exfoliate the brows, get rid of the dry, dead skin that may be on it. This is important when you are applying any type of tint because you want to start off with a really clean base. So I'm just using a disposable spoolie, and now I'm going in with rose water and a cotton pad to clean off that brow shampoo. Next, I'm getting into the lamination first. It is important to laminate before you tint. And so the lamination kit that I have is from Amazon. I can link the exact one because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But what you see me doing now is using the cleanser that comes in the lamination kit. So first I use the cleanser and then I use the adhesive. This is a step-by-step instruction that comes with this specific lamination system. So definitely use whatever instructions come with yours. I'm applying a thin layer of adhesive, and then what I'm going to do is brush the brows into their shape. Next, what I'm doing is applying the lifting lotion. This is basically like the perm, as some people casually call it. This doesn't smell the best, so I always just tell my client, that it may smell a little funky, but I'm using a micro swab to apply this. And yeah, it's very simple. Doing laminations are very easy. They're one of my favorite things to do. They do just take a little bit of time because you do have to let the eyebrows sit in process. So I am wrapping the brows with some plastic film. This is important. You want to let that sit for 10 minutes. Now we're taking this off, and next step is to apply our setting lotion. But first you want to make sure that you completely wipe the brows of the lifting lotion first. So this is a very detailed step-by-step process. I'm using a micro swab. Actually, this isn't even a micro swab. I'm just using this little cotton thingy. I don't know what it's called, forgive me, but I'm using this to completely wipe the brows of the lifting lotion before we start applying the setting lotion. And I am going to keep brushing the brows, kind of training them to lay in the way that I want. This is important, and it's going to save you a lot of time in the future if you just kind of keep putting it in its desired shape. So now I'm applying the setting lotion. It's very important that you lift and set so that your laminations can last as much time as they're supposed to. My client was very laughy and jokey today, so I apologize for the chit chat that's going on the screen. But once again, we're gonna wrap and let this sit for 10 minutes. She was really laughing here, guys. Okay, and now we are removing this again, and so you can see the eyebrows are very relaxed. I again am going to make sure that I am wiping every bit of the setting lotion out of the brows. Her eyebrows were pretty naturally straight, but this is just going to give it that really sleek look, that effortless straight look, and this will eliminate you having to use any brow gel. Okay, and the last step of the lamination is to add some nourishing treatment or some oil. It's very important if you want your laminations to last that you fluff it and you add oil. Now, we are moving along to the mapping. I did not go into detail with the mapping, but I am making sure that I'm using a caliper to make sure everything is even. If you guys would like a detailed mapping video, I am not a gatekeeper. I can definitely do that. Just let me know in the comments. I am using a pink thread from Amazon. Again, I can link it because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I like to map behind the client. I do a little bit of both. I usually, start mapping behind the client, and then once I'm getting into my shape, I transfer to the front, which you may see here, you may not, but just, enjoy watching me map for now. And now I'm going in with a skin gel pen. I love doing this to map out the under arch of the brows. I just find it easier than using the string. And I can also link these. I got these from Amazon as well. And I'm just trying to perfect the shape to the best of my ability. These pens are great. They draw really, really smooth. And I am just cleaning up the shape. It's very important to take your time with mapping because this is going to be what your client gets. So definitely take your time. I'm passing her the mirror so that she can sign off on the shape before we begin. Now, these stencils are a very important part of airbrush. I do not airbrush without stencils. Again, I'm going to link this on Amazon. You really want to make sure you take your time. Because you already mapped out your shape, this should be simple, but it can be a little bit tricky if it's your first time using it. So my biggest advice with airbrush is to just take your time. There's no need to rush. You know, you want to provide the best results for your client. So just take your time. Make sure that your stencils are on properly, because if not, you can get a little bit of leakage. I don't have this problem with these stencils, but I also make sure that I take my time. Now I'm just applying some Bronson eyebrow primer. This is supposed to help the tint last as long as possible. For the airbrush service, I use the Aqua liquid hybrid tint in dark brown and black. You guys can find that online. I really do love the Aqua hybrid tint. I just mixed it with its normal ratio and then some saline solution. This line also does sell a liquid oxidizer. I don't have the liquid one. I have the cream one, which is why I do have to mix with saline solution to make sure that I am not clogging my airbrush. But you do have the option to buy the liquid oxidizer. So with airbrush, I think it's really important that you get a cloth or a paper of some kind to make sure that you are not going over your lines, and you want to make sure that you dry each layer. I did about 3 layers on this client. I do usually 3 to 4 layers on each client, just because I think that is going to give you the best results and the most long-lasting results. And it's very, very simple. It's a very fast process. Just make sure you're taking your time and make sure that you dry between each layer. And now my favorite part, we're gonna wait for it to dry a little bit before we remove the stencil. When you remove the stencil, you should not want any type of leakage. If you do have some, it's an easy fix. But if you're going nice and slow and you have a low pressure, you shouldn't be getting any oversaturation. So I'm just removing the stencils, and as you can see, our shape is still intact, looking very nice and crisp. I did have to tweak a little bit, but nothing major. And now we're getting into waxing and clean up, my favorite part. I'm using the Brow Code Hard Wax. I can honestly say that I do enjoy this wax. I give it about an 8 out of 10. I am definitely still getting the hang of using hard wax for brows, but honestly, I love it. It has definitely been a time saver, and it's better than soft wax for clients with sensitive skin. As you guys can see with waxing, I take it very slow. I do it in sections. It's very important because as opposed to waxing like a leg or an arm, you want to make sure that you are not waxing off any of the brow hairs. So you want to be very careful. Like I said, slow and steady wins the race when you are, tweaking somebody's brows, taking off hair. You don't want to be rushing. Definitely take your time and make sure that your work is as precise as it can be. After the wax, I just apply some aloe vera gel. This is going to help soothe the skin after the waxing and make sure that there's not too much redness or puffiness. I do this with every single client. I recommend that you let the tint sit and process while you are cleaning up the brows, as opposed to letting it process and then cleaning up the brows, because you'll save a lot of time when you're multitasking and basically letting it sit while you're doing this. And I find that I get the best results when I let it sit for a longer amount of time. It's going to give the client a longer tint, which is more bang for their buck. So now to remove the tint, I'm using the Bronze eyebrow conditioner, and I love this thing. It really gets that tint gone and it just really cleans it up, and it's a nice, soft, soothing experience for the client. And this is how it came out. I hope you guys liked the video. It was a very, mini tutorial. If anything you want more in depth, please let me know in the comments. A mapping video, a more detailed airbrush video, please let me know. But I am so in love. I love the way that this turned out. She loved it too. Shout out to Aqua Infinity Drops. And if you guys want to book me, there's my Instagram. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.